The Warren Central Dragons, with a record of 8-3, winners of their last 7, host the Bowling Green Purples with a record of 9-2. I'm James Brandenburg alongside Corey Ramsey. And Corey Ramsey, last time we saw these two teams face one another, Bowling Green left Joe Hood Field here at Warren Central High School as 17-0 victors. How are the Dragons going to turn that early season loss into a postseason victory?
Well, I tell you, the Dragons are going to have to do an awful lot, James, because it's been 7 years since they have managed to beat the Purples. If they do so tonight, it could end up in a very good game, close enough to acknowledge a recount.
What about the cold weather? Is that going to slow down the track for either one of these teams tonight?
Usually the players prepare for cold weather. They wear things like pantyhose and thermal underwear, much like they can't bundle up like we can, but they do it in layers, very thin layers. It looks like they will be warm tonight, at least on the field.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First, for the Bowling Green Purples, ranked number 8 in Class 3A, according to the Associated Press. At quarterback, they've got a 6'1", 177-pound junior, number 10, Kyle Sledge. Their fullback is Terrell Green. At halfback, we've got Aaron Johnson. Tight end is Blake Settle. At the split ends, they've got Josh Alexander and Jonathan Burton. And across the line from right tackle, Justin Ballard. Right guard is Mark Terry. The center is Andrew Kuhn. Left guard is Tom Moran, and left tackle is Bobby Hilliard. On defense, at defensive end, they've got Brad Bunton, a 6'1", 224-pound senior. Defensive end, they've got Jay Bradford. Defensive tackle is number 58, Andy Price. The other defensive tackle is Tom Moran. The nose guard is Ronnie Lindsay. At linebackers, they've got Brad Booker and Josh Alexander. The free safety is number 3, Sean Wilson. At strong safety is J.P. Carl. Cornerbacks are Jonathan Burton and Stuart Hurley, and handling the kicking and punting is number 26, Matt Hardenberg. For Warren Central at quarterback, they've got number 5, Gabe Forrester, a 6'2", 180-pound junior. Handling the ball-carrying duties tonight is number 2, Terkell Boards. At fullback, number 38, Javen Roberson. The split end is 29, Brian Rose. The tight end is number 21, Dion Holtz. The S-back is number 3, Shane Green. At left tackle is number 60, Josh Murphy. Left guard is Kevin Vachon. The center is Todd Kitchens. Right guard is Lee Moran. And at right tackle is Jason Rigsby. On defense, at defensive end, they've got Dion Holtz, who has 183 tackles thus far this year. Number 79, Mark Smith, is the defensive tackle. And nose guard, they've got number 60, Josh Murphy. The left defensive tackle is Jonathan Greer. Linebackers, number 40, Kevin Fishburne. They've got Javen Roberson. Jason Gilbert at linebacker as well. Safeties are Desmond Harris and Stephen Goodbar. And the defensive backs are Brian Smith and Terkell Boards. Handling the place-kicking duties will be Javen Roberson, and the punter is Kevin Vachon. We'll be back in just a bit with the kickoff of Warren Central versus Bowling Green, the second round of the Class 3A high school football playoffs on Insight Communications. Welcome back, everybody, to Insight's Communications coverage of the Class 3A high school football playoffs here in the state of Kentucky. Once again, James Brandenburg alongside Corey Ramsey. We're about 2 minutes from kickoff. Side note to add here for Bowling Green on offense, starting halfback Aaron Johnson has been diagnosed with a fever of near 104 degrees. Taking his place tonight is going to be 5'7", 160-pound sophomore Anthony Rhodes. He'll be wearing uniform number 25.
James, I think on a night like this, you kind of want to feel like you're 104 degrees. It's about 40 degrees outside. The wind chill, in effect, winds from the northwest at 7 miles per hour. The wind chill is 33 degrees on Joe Hood Field tonight, and the forecast is for mostly cloudy skies. You're low around 30 degrees tonight. So if you could feel 104 degrees, it might warm you up just a bit on the field, but certainly not the condition Johnson wanted to be in tonight.
Definitely not the condition Johnson wanted to be in tonight. And what does that do to Bowling Green's chances? How does that hurt them against a team with so much momentum like Warren Central in such a pivotal game?
Well, they've got to use everything they've got against this Warren Central team, because Warren Central could possibly come in here and win against Bowling Green. And the Dragons, it'd be the first time in 7 years. As a matter of fact, the first time since September the 10th of '93, when Warren Central beat Bowling Green 20-12. That was a close game then. As I said in our open, it's going to be real close.
Palm Beach County might decide it.
Palm Beach County, Florida, they may have to count the votes again.
They may indeed. Rare occasion when anyone beats Bowling Green here in Bowling Green, is it not?
It is.
It is.
It is.
Well, your officials for tonight's game, wearing the white cap, the position of referee is going to be Randy Fox. He's out of Marshall County. The umpire is Darren Rudd from Murray. The linesman is Mike Riley from Mayfield. The line judge is James Harris from Cadiz,
Kentucky. Pronounce it like a Kentuckian would there, James.
In Trigg County. And the back judge is Sam Cunningham, who is also from Murray. Bowling Green Purples won the toss. They deferred their option of the second half, so Warren Central will receive the kickoff. And here when we do get underway, Matt Hardenberg will be kicking for the Purples. Back to receive for the Dragons is number 2, Terkell Boards. Looks like we're going to have number 3, Shane Green, and number 12, Desmond Harris, back to receive for Warren Central. So 3 people back to receive. That's not something you see very often.
They want to make sure they receive that kick, though, James.
So important to receive the kickoff, especially this first kickoff of the game. Always want to make sure you can get some momentum going on the first drive there.
Very important, and it will definitely set the stage for what we're about to see tonight.
Well, Hardenberg is ready, and the ball falls off the tee. That's the second time it's happened so far on a cold, crisp, even slightly breezy night here at Joe Hood Field.
Overcast skies here in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
The signal has come. Hardenberg kicks. It's a low, deep, high over in the kick. Terkell Boards. And it's a touchback as Terkell Boards receives the ball just over the end zone line. Warren Central will start with the ball at their own 20.
Watch that number 2 Terkell Boards tonight. He really stepped up after Stephen Goodbar went out of the game. You saw against Owensboro earlier this year here on Insight Communications Channel 5. Terkell Boards has really been the main source of Warren Central's power the past couple of months.
The week after that, you also saw Warren Central against Warren East when Boards romped for over 300 yards. Forrester's under center with the eye behind him. He hands off to Boards. Boards plunges ahead about 3 yards to his own 23. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Dragons.
Nothing bored about Terkell Boards so far. He's really charging, trying to get through this line held up by the Purples so far.
It's always intimidating when you've got to go up against the team that is perennially the best team in your county, in your city, even in your region. But Warren Central is faced with that daunting task tonight. Forrester comes up, 2 wideouts to his right. Hands off to Boards again. Boards is hit immediately, and he's driven backwards. He may have gained 1 or 2 yards on his forward progress there. It'll be interesting to see where the spot is, but it will be 3rd down, and it looks like about 6.5 or 7 from, once again, their own 23-yard line for the Dragons.
We've seen Warren Central run the ball. Now we may have to see them switch to the passing game, James.
They're going to list it at 3rd and 6, definitely a passing down. Once again, Forrester has 2 wideouts to his right, but he's got the 1 to his left now. He passes. Shane Green pass out there to his own 21 for a loss of about 3 yards, and the Dragons are going to have to kick it away.
Pass for a loss is never good. You always want that ball to go into the direction to give you a gain.
He tried a little screen pass out there, out in the flat. He was called for a false start. The penalty has been declined by the Purples, and Central will indeed have to kick the ball away.
Warren Central with a record of 8 wins and 3 losses overall. The Bowling Green Purples a record of 9 wins, 2 losses overall. But one of the losses for the Purples came against Owensboro, a team that Warren Central won against earlier this year.
Vashon punts it away. It's a spiraling kick. He has to hop on it. That was number 25. Anthony Rhodes there receiving the kick for Bowling Green. He bobbled it a little bit. It looked like there was a little bit of confusion as to who was going to come up with that ball between Rhodes and Burton. Rhodes pounced on the ball wisely, and Bowling Green's going to start the ball in good field position at their own 45-yard line.
Almost a scare there for the Purples.
Sledge lines up under center with 3 people joining him in the backfield. A handoff is to Rhodes, and he's hit immediately. Stopped for no gain at his own 45. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up for the Purples.
Still scoreless, 10-13 remaining here in the first quarter.
It is still early. It's going to be interesting to see what Bowling Green can do with the good field position, the short field they've been given to work with here. After Central was forced to punt from fairly deep in their own territory. Sledge lines up under center again. A handoff was to Terrell Green. Handoff gets 5 yards on play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 from midfield for Bowling Green. Probably a passing down here, but Sledge has a strong arm. He's capable of picking up more than the first down. Lines up under center again with 3 people joining him in the backfield again, so not a passing down for the Purples. Running the option, and Sledge is able to get about 12 yards, it looks like, down to Warren Central's 39-yard line and pick up of 11. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Purples. First down of the game. That's always a big momentum gainer, is it not, Corey Ramsey?
Sure is. Anytime you can gain that at 10 and plus more, it's always something you look forward to gaining the next first down to the decks, possibly eventually to the end zone.
Bowling Green is going to be working in opponent's territory, the first team to do so in this game. They're at Warren Central's 40-yard line. Sledge lines up under center again. 3 people joining him in the backfield. The handoff. Fumble, Warren Central saying they have it. And it is first down, Warren Central on the turnover.
Big break here, and you can tell by the crowd, they just stand up in jubilation, clap their cold hands, and acknowledge that Warren Central now has got one over on Bowling Green so far.
That's a big deal. Turnovers hurt Warren Central in the first game, and one would think that normally the team that wins the battle of the turnovers is the team that can come out and win the game. So Warren Central going to start with the ball on their own 38 after the Bowling Green fumble, which they were able to recover. 1st and 10 for Warren Central. Like I said, they're at their own 38. Forrester lines up under center. The handoff is to Roberson. He's stopped for no gain, but there is a flag on the play.
Well, turnovers did plague Warren Central against Bowling Green in that team's first meeting. The Dragons committed 5 turnovers, including Booker's 63-yard interception return for a touchdown with 1:01 left in the previous contest.
As you saw right there, the man in the white cap goes flag for holding. That's going to be on the offense. Chances are 10 yards back. It's going to pin Warren Central close to their own 28-yard line. That was a preliminary call, and indeed that's what it is. Holding on the offense. Warren Central is going to start with a 1st and 20 now at their own 28-yard line. They're going to pick up the yellow hanky and start it all over again. Forrester comes up to the line. He lines up under center with 3 wideouts, 2 to his right, 1 to his left. Shane Green in motion. Forrester keeps it for himself. And after a gain of about 11 yards, he's brought down at his own 40-yard line. Very deceptive with Green in motion in the backfield as the ball snapped. But Forrester took it with the quarterback keeper right up the middle.
Well, he had 20 yards to gain, and he just dang near gained all of them. Broke through the line there, stepped over a couple of guys, and made his way up to where he's at right now.
The Central breaks huddle. It's 2nd and 9 at their own 40-yard line. Back to more of a conventional set for them. 2 wideouts, 2 men in the backfield joining Forrester. The handoff is to Terkell Boards, and he's hit almost immediately, but he breaks 1 tackle. He breaks 2 tackles, and he's able to gain 1 yard to his own 41. After all that work, only 3 feet did he advance. It's going to be 3rd and 8 when they break huddle.
That was a good 3 feet, though. He really dragging guys through there, wanted to take one to the end zone with him.
Boards would have liked to carry one of those young men in the white jerseys all 60 yards down to the end zone. 6 points for the Dragons. Well, here we are, 7:50 to go here in the first quarter, still scoreless. 3rd and 8 for Warren Central at their own 41-yard line. Passing down for the Dragons. Forrester lines up under center. Roberson joining him in the backfield. 3 wideouts. Green in motion. Forrester decides to keep it again. He breaks 2 tackles and is able to make it all the way to midfield. What looks to be a first down. That is the signal. It's first down, Warren Central Dragons at midfield. Looked like Forrester picked up most of those 20 yards after the early holding play there. Forrester did a good job keeping his team under control.
Warren Central coming out with a toughness early in this game against Bowling Green tonight.
Breaking tackles left and right. Forrester lines up. The handoff is to Boards. He's hit almost immediately. Who do you think Bowling Green's keying in on? And after a gain of 1 or 2 yards, Boards is hit. And it looks like it's going to be about 2nd and 9 from Bowling Green's 49 for the Dragons.
Class 3A Region 1 semifinals here in Bowling Green. The winner will face either Owensboro or Paducah Tillman for the Class 3A Region 1 championship, which is November the 17th, next Friday. If Warren Central makes it to Owensboro, we might see them advance even more.
Obviously, both these teams' ultimate goal is to make it to Louisville on December 2nd. Forster lines up. The handoff is to Roberson. He plows ahead through Bowling Green, close to a first down at the 40-yard line. He's at Bowling Green's 40. It's going to depend on where the spot is, just seeing whether we've got third down and short or first down and 10.
Well, James, you said plow. He did look like a four-wheel drive tractor running through that, didn't he?
He did. Roberson plows ahead. It's going to be third and a short 1 yard for the Dragons. 2 wide outs to the right for Forrester. The handoff is to Boards. He's got the first down. He bobbled the ball just a bit, but he's got the first down. At Bowling Green's 38-yard line, it's going to be 1st and 10. Central's been the first team to get 2 first downs on a drive in this game. They're moving the ball forward with the eyes on the prize, going for 6.
Well, it looked like Boards tripped a little bit, lost his footing on that last play. You got to worry about the mental condition of these guys with the cold weather tonight.
You do. The cold weather will break down your body as well as your mind. Forster lines up under center. The handoff once again to Boards. He goes up the middle. He gets hit once. He breaks that tackle and he's brought down.
Oh!
Fumble! And Bowling Green has recovered the football. It's going to depend on whether or not they say Boards was down by contact. And they do not. Bowling Green forces the Warren Central turnover. They'll take over. 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Central looked to have a drive going, but Boards fumbled the ball as he was being brought down.
Yeah, you saw Rick Wood on the sidelines. He didn't like that at all.
Andy Price coming up with a fumble recovery there for Bowling Green. Looked like Warren Central was going to be able to come down with it, but they're gentlemen that pounced on the ball there.
But we've seen thus far they've been able to put up a very good effort. When they get the ball back, we could see some more fireworks on a cold night here in Bowling Green.
It's going to be interesting to see whether or not they can hold Bowling Green's defense. Sledge lines up under center once again with 3 backs in the backfield. It's the only setup we've seen from Bowling Green thus far tonight. And
What is this?
What is this? He was hit almost immediately. Javen Roberson coming up with a big hit there. Big tackle. The tackle for a loss of about 1. It's going to be about 2nd and 11 from the 34-yard line for Bowling Green. Bowling Green's been a passing team in the past, and they are once again. Sledge is going to line up now with only one person in the backfield for him. 3 wideouts. Fakes the handoff. Holtz is after him, but he gets away. He gets close to the first down. Looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 1 after the gain of 10 for Kyle Sledge. That's the 2nd time we've seen him keep the ball for a long game tonight, Corey.
And he sure can put the accelerator down and run too. Good aspect from a quarterback.
You always want a quarterback with speed, a lot like they do over at Western Kentucky there with Jason Johnson.
Right, Johnson has been a real, I guess you could call it godsend for Western Kentucky this year.
3rd and 1. Sledge lines up with the eye behind him. He's got 2 wideouts. The handoff, and he's hit almost immediately. Number 57, Michael Cowles, coming up with the hit on Terrell Green for Bowling Green. And Bowling Green looks like they're going to have to kick the ball away.
Wow, we've seen Warren Central with a stellar offense so far tonight. Now their defense is not bad either.
Matt Hardenberg also handles the punting duties for Bowling Green as well as the kicking. He's going to be kicking with Shane Green and Stephen Goodbar back to receive. There's a high snap. Warren Central almost got to him. It's going to bounce. Green takes the ball, and he's wrestled down at about his own 23-yard line. Central will take over their 1st and 10. After turning the ball over, Corey Ramsey, that was a pivotal stop for Warren Central.
Warren Central did do that, but as you remember, they did have a turnover themselves a little bit earlier, so it's going to be back and forth kind of game. It just depends on who holds the ball the longest.
Very good thing to stop a team like Bowling Green.
Beat Warren Central earlier this year, 17-0. Last year they beat the Dragons 28-6, and like I said, they haven't As far as Warren Central is concerned, they haven't beat Bowling Green since 1993.
But alas, we had a flag on the last play. It was offsides on Warren Central. The offsides resulted in a Bowling Green first down. They're going to take that penalty for a first down. 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. A very, very inopportune time to get a first down if you're Warren Central. Get an offsides penalty, excuse me, there if you're Warren Central. There was movement on the line. It looked as if it might have been false start there on the left end, number 20. Blake Settle, and indeed it was the tight end. Blake Settle there looked like false start, and then it's going to push Bowling Green back the 5 yards that they just gained. It's going to be 1st and 15. 1st and 15 from their own 42. Bowling Green's going to take the ball. And just as they lined up before, Sledge is going to line up under center with 2 wide outs in the eye. Terrell Green was able to get up to the 45-yard line. He got 3 of those yards back. And Bowling Green has a young man hurt. Looks to be number 69, Mark Terry, down on the field. Well, folks, Insights Communications brings you the latest information from the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce through Chamber Monthly Magazine. It airs weekly on Insight Channel 5 on Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m., Wednesdays at 6 p.m., and Fridays at 7 p.m. That's the Insight Communications Chamber Monthly Magazine, bringing you the latest information on the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
Keeping the businesses of Bowling Green in check and promoting the spirit of free enterprise here in the Bowling Green, Warren County metropolitan area.
Well, James, we can't help but mention that the weather tonight is a little cool because of a cold front that moved through the area yesterday. I was up on the campus of Western Kentucky University where recorded was wind speed of near 92 miles an hour. We don't see that very often.
No, and something else we don't see very often is Craven's Library there on the Western Kentucky campus shut down, as it was for a period of time yesterday after a tree fell in front of the front door of Craven's there. As a matter of fact, some cars were hurt by trees.
Yeah.
Parts of dormitories were falling on cars, from what I heard over there at the campus.
Broken windows in some of the dormitories. I believe some roof particles fell off some of the buildings. There was some construction going on some parts of the campus as we continue to see a purple getting worked on here on the field. Construction. There was a bulldozer that had a tree fall on it there on the campus, and just a lot of things going on now as we see the Bowling Green purple walking off the field.
Mark Terry's being helped off the field, as you see right there on your screen. Never like to see that when a player comes up with an injury. It looks like it might be something with his leg, as he's keeping his right leg off the ground, favoring it. The game goes on. It's 2nd and 12 from their own 45 for Bowling Green. Sledge is going to line up with the 2 wideouts, 1 back behind him. The pass, but the play is whistled dead before the pass can take place, as there's a flag on the play. Usually when the play is whistled dead before that, it's an indication of a false start. And with Bowling Green walking backwards, it looks like, well, that's what it's going to be. Indeed it was, and that's going to set up 2nd and 17 from their own 40 for the Purples.
3 minutes, 11 seconds. Still scoreless here in the first. Joe Hoodfield.
James Brandenburg along with Corey Ramsey, and as he just said, it's 3 minutes, 9 seconds to go. Scoreless here in the first quarter.
I just said that, Jim.
You did. You did just say that. And Sledge is lining up in the shotgun with the 1 back, 3 wideouts, 2 to his left, 1 to his right. He rolls left. The shovel pass is to number 23, Terrell Green, and he is hit almost immediately at his own 43-yard line, which is going to set up 3rd and 12, no doubt a passing down for the Purples.
Warren Central can depend on their defense tonight.
Warren Central may need to depend on their defense tonight, as they were held scoreless in the first meeting between these 2 teams.
That is exactly what they did against Owensboro, and the little offense that they did have produced a win.
17-14, they were able to beat the Red Devils, handing them their only loss of the season. Seemed like there was a little bit of confusion out there on offense for Bowling Green, and they call a timeout to get things settled.
Well, you know, James, we keep mentioning that Owensboro win. for Warren Central, and we can't help but overemphasize that because it's the only loss that the Red Devils have had this season.
You also can't help but overemphasize that because Owensboro is playing Paducah Tillman tonight in Paducah.
Yeah.
And the winner of that matchup will face the winner of the game you're seeing here on Insight next Friday night in the Region 1 Class 3A championship game, with the opportunity for the victor of that game to advance to the semi-state of Class 3A football.
Yeah, just a handful of games going on as we're getting toward the latter part of the season. And by the way, happy holidays, James, as it is getting that part of the year in the football season, which starts in August and runs through the November, December part of the year. Not that much of a long season, but it is long enough.
Yeah, with these kids having the high school, the work that they have to do, they've got 10 regular season football games. Most of these kids play other sports like basketball.
Yeah.
Sledge lines up in the shotgun with Green next to him. To his right. He drops back to pass. He's got a man wide open. The man that he had wide open looked to be number 1, Danny McIver, a 6', 151-pound senior. And the catch was good enough for a Bowling Green first down at the Warren Central 41-yard line.
That was a nice-looking pass, too.
It was a nice-looking pass. The defensive back was playing a little bit back on him, and Sledge was able to find his man. Sledge lines up under the center with that familiar 3-back set that we've seen from Bowling Green so much tonight. The option. Rhodes is taken down for what looked to be maybe a 1-yard loss. Looks like we'll bring up 2nd and 11. At nearly the same spot that they had before. So 2nd and we'll call it 10 at the 41-yard line. Bowling Green looking to become the first team to score tonight. There you just saw Anthony Rhodes, who's filling in for the ill Aaron Johnson. If you missed it at the top of the telecast, starting halfback for Bowling Green, Aaron Johnson is out with a temperature of 104 degrees. Sledge lines up under center, runs the option again, out to Rhodes, and he's hit after gaining what looked to be about 3 yards to get to the Warren Central 38-yard line. Bring up 3rd and about 7 for the Purples.
Well, number 25, Anthony Rhodes, really doing some work tonight so far for the Purples.
That he is. He had to fill in on short notice, and as a sophomore, he's in a big spot to be such a young man. Sledge out of the shotgun. He drops the back to pass. He's running out of room. He throws it, and Rhodes catches the ball, and he's run out of bounds at the Warren Central 20-yard line after picking up the first down and then some. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the opponent's 20-yard line for Bowling Green, and this, Corey Ramsey, is what they call the red zone.
Yeah, Warren Central coaching staff kind of watching this saying, uh-oh, because if Bowling Green gets up on the board, Warren Central has definitely got to do the same plus more to win this game.
If you're Rick Wood right now, the heart's going a little bit faster as Sledge lines up under center, once again with the familiar 3-back set that we've seen. Handoff is to Rhodes. He gets hit at about the 13-yard line after a pickup of about 7, and it'll look like it'll be about 2nd and 3. And with 7 seconds to go in the first quarter, that looks like it's going to be about it.
Time running off the clock.
That's the gun to end the first quarter. With the score, the Dragons from Warren Central 0, the Purples from Bowling Green 0. But Bowling Green starting with the ball on Warren Central's 13-yard line as we'll start the second quarter here.
Reflections on the first quarter.
Reflections on the first quarter. It looked like Warren Central was the team that was able to move the ball first, but the 2 turnovers didn't help them very much at all, the 2 fumbles that they were.
Well, quite frankly, turnovers never help. Sometimes beneficial, maybe if you look 3 or 4 drives and plays down the road, but really when it first happens, you don't want them. Turnovers really, as I said earlier, playing Warren Central against Bowling Green earlier this year, and that's something they definitely don't want tonight.
Your Warren Central, another thing that hurt you there was the fact that they were about to get the ball at their own 23-yard line. They got called for the offsides on the punt on the 4th and 1. when many people at home might have questioned why Bowling Green didn't go for it, well, at the end of the day, they were able to pick up the first down on a penalty.
Right you are.
Oh, we have a chance here. We want to send some special condolences out to Tom Vinson. He was originally scheduled to do the play-by-play tonight here for Insight Communications. But he had a tragedy in his family as his uncle was involved in that terrible wreck on Interstate 65. So we want to send our condolences out to he and his family and wish them the best.
Definitely sad when whenever a family tragedy happens like that. And Tom and family, we are thinking about you tonight.
Sledge going to line up under center there. Once again, Bowling Green running this three-back set. The handoff is to Rhodes again. He's hit immediately. Looks as if he may be close to the first down.
Rhodes is the go-to guy.
Rhodes is the go-to guy. It looked like he got to about the Warren Central 11-yard line, and it looks like it's going to be about third. And they're going to call it one, but it's a very, very long one, Corey Ramsey. This is where Warren Central's defense has to buckle down and try to see to it that Bowling Green gets stopped. And hopefully if you're a Warren Central fan out there, hopefully only get 3. Sledge lines up, he hands off to Rhodes, and Rhodes gets hit. It's going to be very, very close to the first down. They may bring out the chains.
Well, they may have to. It looks like it is awfully close. And of course, from our vantage point here up in the booth, can't really tell, and I don't believe that the referees can either. Looks like they are calling for the chain gang.
Officials are bringing out the chains. It's going to be a measurement, and even though with 11:14 to go in the second quarter, this is a pivotal measurement because it kind of determines who's going to have the best opportunity to get on the board first and who's going to score. Well, how many points you're going to score when they get on the board. If you're Warren Central, you're hoping that this is indeed not a first down because you'd much rather see Bowling Green going for 3 than for 6. And indeed, it's going to be 4th and what looks to be about 9 inches.
About the length of a thread on the top of the football.
About a length of a thread on the top of the football, as Corey Ramsey said. 4th and inches.
Couldn't get any closer. I think it was a little bit closer than the Tennessee Titans were to a Super Bowl win this year.
A little bit closer. Bowling Green gonna go for it here on 4th and inches. Sledge lines up under center. You gotta think he's gonna have a keeper. Give it off to Rhodes. Sledge lines up. The handoff. There's a fumble, and Warren Central has recovered it. It looks to be number 63. Excuse me, number 60, Josh Murphy coming up with a fumble recovery for Warren Central. And it doesn't get any bigger than that if you're a Dragons fan, causing a turnover in your own red zone.
I tell you what, the crowd up here at Joe Hood Field was about to storm the field itself. They're getting really excited, really behind this Dragon team tonight.
Fans here at Warren Central Field know who let the dogs out. Forrester lines up under center.
They were playing that earlier tonight.
Forrester lines up under center. The handoff is to Terkell Boards. He fights all the way to about his own 13-yard line. A pickup of about 3. It'll be about 2nd and 7 for the Dragons. As a matter of fact, they're calling it a gain of about 2, so it'll be about 2nd and 8 for Warren Central here. 10:44 to go in the first half, and it's still scoreless, which if you're Warren Central has to be a good thing, right, Corey Ramsey?
Well, unless it was Warren Central up on the board at this point.
Indeed. Forrester lines up under center. He hands off to Javen Roberson. Roberson gets about 2 or 3. There's a late flag on the play after the play has been whistled dead. Roberson gets tackled about his own 15-yard line. That's a pickup of about 2. And I think they're going to call it 2nd and 5. But let's see what the result of that flag is. The preliminary call is a face mask on Bowling Green, which is going to result in an automatic first down. Let's see if it holds up. And Randy Fox, the referee tonight, signals first down, and it's going to be 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 5-yard incidental face mask there on Bowling Green.
It's kind of hard to avoid it when you're in the When you're in the hustle of the game there in between the two lines coming together out of scrimmage, you kind of get your hand on anything you can, and usually that could be a face mask.
Forrester lines up the eye behind him. He hands off to Terkell Boards. There was a fumble. Let's see who comes up with Warren Central saying they have it. Bowling Green saying they have it. The football is out, and the signal is first down, Purples.
Holy mackerel, this could be a game of fumbles right here.
So far, each team has 2 fumbles, and it's going to be first down and 10 from the Warren Central 23 for Bowling Green. Bowling Green's not off the field for 2 minutes, and after their own turnover, they're able to get the ball back. That's 2 fumbles tonight for Boards that have been recovered by the Purples.
Looks like both teams are playing very even tonight as far as turnovers are concerned.
2 turnovers apiece, indeed. Sledge comes up to the line with that 3-back set we've seen all night from Bowling Green. The handoff is to Rhodes, and he's tripped up and tackled at about the 15-yard line of Warren Central.
Got a flag now.
And there is a flag on the play. When the Bowling Green players applauding, you might be led to believe that it's against Warren Central.
Waiting to see as the referees confer.
We were waiting to see what the call is from referee Randy Fox. Looks like there's a great deal of discussion going on about it as to exactly what the play is. As it stands right now, it'll be second and about, I'll call it 4 from the Warren Central 16-yard line.
Now there's another
flag on the field. It appeared right there that you had Javen Roberson jawing with the official, and he threw a flag down right in the direction of the officials. It's going to be interesting to see what the spot of the ball is and exactly who all the penalties are at the end of this play.
A little bit of math involved now.
A little bit of math involved, and this could be pivotal right here as to what Bowling Green needs to put 6 points on the board.
Well, I talked about the mental element just moments ago and how it could affect the patience of these two teams. And once you get kind of cold out there, here's the call.
We've got a personal foul against each team. The penalties, 2 personal fouls against Warren Central and 1 personal foul against Bowling Green. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the football here.
But as you get cold, you kind of, you don't really care about things. You're not as comfortable. You might know the game, but some elements of it leave your mind.
And that happens in nearly anything when you're cold. It makes you wonder how hockey players are able to keep their...
Yeah, good point. Well, they don't really, they're out there just kind of, not to fault hockey players, but they're kind of a rough sport anyway.
Well, you hear the saying all the time, went to see a fight and a hockey game broke out, so...
Yeah. And the same with very hot heat. That's why they schedule football season, I guess, at the time of year they do.
Because with all those pads on, it can stand to get very, very warm in there. And they pick the football up and walk it back again. And with the 15-yard personal foul penalty against Warren Central, Bowling Green's going to have a 1st and 10 from the Dragons' 7-yard line. 1st and goal from the Dragons' 7-yard line, excuse me.
You can see our first point right here, James.
We very well could, Corey Ramsey. Sledge is going to line up under center with Terrell Green, Anthony Rhodes, and Jonathan Burton behind him. When we get everything settled down, it looks like that's the way it's going to be. Warren Central 7-yard line for Bowling Green. And they walk back into the huddle. Looks like they're going to reconfer, as the officials have yet to decide exactly where we're going to go with the football.
Well, they want to get this just right, not making it look like the Florida vote count of this year's presidential election. We still don't know who's president here on this 10th day of November, some 4 or 5 days after the election held on this Tuesday.
They want to make sure the football is still not up in the air and has enough electoral votes to be counted down exactly where it needs to be.
Right.
And as it stands, it's going to be 1st and barely 10 from about the 10.5-yard line. it almost looks like you can get a first down without scoring if you're Bowling Green. Burton in motion. The handoff is to Terrell Green, and he's wrapped up at the Bowling Green, Warren Central 3-yard line. It's going to be the Warren Central 5-yard line. It's going to be second and about 4 from the Dragon 5. They can't get a first down without scoring, but it's going to be very, very difficult if you're Bowling Green. Not that you'd want to try. Sledge lines up under center. The snap, he hands off to Rhodes. Rhodes is hit almost immediately, and he's brought down after a very, very short gain. He tried to go up the middle, but there was nothing doing.
Rhodes is doing a lot of the work. He's just not getting anywhere.
Well, Anthony Rhodes is doing a lot of the work, and that's because Aaron Johnson usually is saddled with a lot of the things. He's very, very fast as Johnson, and Rhodes, despite the fact he's only a sophomore, young kid, is built well, and he's being saddled with a tremendous responsibility here in the second round of the Class 3A playoffs. It's going to be second and 2 from the 3-yard line for Bowling Green. Warren Central has to buckle down there. Sledge under center, Burton in motion. And that was number 57, Michael Cowles. You saw it just go through the Bowling Green line, but there was movement from Bowling Green's offense first. It's going to be false start on the Purples. It's going to bring up 3rd and now 8 from about the 9-yard line, or 3rd and 7 from the 8, depending on which you prefer. Bowling Green in the huddle. There you see Holtz checking in. Yeah, 183 tackles, as we mentioned in the open, for Warren Central on the year.
He knows how to do it.
Sledge under center. He's got the 2 wideouts. Empty backfield. No, excuse me. He fakes the handoff to Rhodes. And the pass is broken up by, it looked to be, number 12, Desmond Harris, the 5'11", 170-pound sophomore defensive back for Warren Central. And it's going to set up 4th and 8 for Bowling Green. Matt Hardenberg is going to come on to try and give the Purples a 3-0 lead. Burton is the holder. The snap is up. The kick is up, and it hits the upright. It is no good. And we remain scoreless with 8 minutes to go in the first half.
Wow. Wow.
Was not your textbook end-over-end kick there by Hardenberg, but it did kick the upright, which, by the way, folks, is still shaking.
There's 2 things to hit up there, James, and he hit one of them. Oh, man. He'll be thinking about that one for a little while.
He will be thinking about that one for a little while, especially if Bowling Green were to lose by less than 3 points.
Yeah.
It's going to bring up 1st and 10 for Warren Central here at the 20, and since their second drive of the first half, they've been really unable to move the football. 2 turnovers by Terkell Boards. Forrester under center, fakes the handoff to Shane Green, and he's tackled almost immediately, even for a loss.
Bowling Green coach Kevin Wallace said his team has to execute much better tonight because they did not have a good kicking game. And he said for us to win tonight, they would have to have a solid kicking game and they would have to tackle. So far they've been tackling, but as we just saw, not a very good kicking game so far.
Well, so often it's the things that get unheralded, like tackling, like kicking, that end up winning football games. Forrester lines up with 2 people right directly behind him. The pitch is to Terkell Boards. And he is swallowed up by a sea of white jerseys at about his own 17-yard line. Looks like a loss of about 3. Going to bring up 3rd and about 13 for the Dragons. One would think it's going to be a passing down for Gabe Forrester. Indeed, that's going to be the official spot. 3rd and 13 for the Dragons.
Gabe Forrester, the 6'2", 180-pound junior.
Forrester's been doing very well for this Central team all year, and he's got another year to mature, which you know Rick Wood likes. Forrester, handoff is to Green. I believe it was to Shane Green, maybe into Terkell Boards, and he was hit almost immediately.
Hit pretty tough, too. His helmet jarred the back of his head there, I saw.
It was to Terkell Boards, and that was a world-class hit. It's going to bring up 4th and about 13 again after Boards has stopped for no loss. And one would think Kevin Vachon is going to kick the ball away for the Dragons. Anthony Rhodes and Jonathan Burton going to be deep to receive the kick for Bowling Green at about midfield, just barely.
They're going to be in good position to run this thing back.
They are indeed, no matter what happens. One would think Bowling Green's going to end up with good field position. The kick by Vachon is end over end, low. Takes a bounce, Burton receives it. He busts up the middle and gets to about the Warren Central 46-yard line, a return of about 6 or 7 yards there for Bowling Green. It's going to be 1st and 10 in Warren Central territory, and once again, good field position to start for the Purples.
That's got to be some kind of feeling to be down there on that field, receive the ball after a kick, after a punt, and have all those guys charging towards you. You're one guy out there, and you've got, with regards to the defense, you've got all these guys running towards you. That's got to be some feeling.
Well, Cora, in the Extreme Football League starting this spring, there's going to be nothing such as a fair catch. So Sledge lines up under center. The handoff is to Terrell Green, and he is hit nearly immediately as soon as he breaks through the line. Gain of about 2 on the play. It's going to be maybe a gain of about 4 on the play. Looks like it's going to be about 2nd and 6 from their Warren Central 43-yard line for the Purples.
Warren Central beat Hopkins County Central last week, 35-7. Bowling Green over Callaway County. The Lakers down there in the western part of the state, 10-7.
Interesting here as Sledge lines up under center, and there was movement. A whistle. One has to think we're going to see another false start here. It looked like there was a little bit of movement on the Bowling Green line. That's a preliminary call from referee Randy Fox. And they're going to move the ball backward. It's going to be about 2nd and 12 from the Warren Central 49 for Bowling Green.
False starting just like a car with a dead battery in this cold weather, James. Turn the key and all you get is clicks.
According to Sears, Die Hard battery will help prevent that.
You're not selling sponsorship, are you, here?
No, sir. That's according to Sears.
You mentioned them twice.
I did mention them twice, didn't I? Kyle Sledge lines up. He's got one person joining him in the backfield. The fake movement there to Anthony Rhodes. The pitch, the fake pitch on the option there, and Kyle Sledge is hammered by Javen Roberson, number 38 for Warren Central, for a loss of about 3. And at their own 48, Bowling Green is going to have a 3rd and 15 situation.
Well, you got to go for that passing game.
One would have to think Bowling Green's going to air it out here. We've seen plenty of 3 and 4 wide receiver sets from them. Anthony Rhodes seems to be a bit confused as to which side to go to, but Sledge is going to line up in the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers to his left. Terrell Green joining him in the backfield. He drops back to pass. He's looking. He's got a man, and it's intercepted. Desmond Harris with the interception for Warren Central. Return back to the Bowling Green 38-yard line. And that's 3 first-half turnovers for the Purples.
Anytime you even bring up the suggestion of passing, you've got to think in the back of your mind, hey, it could be intercepted, and that's what happened here.
Desmond Harris seemed to be in the right place at the right time and hit him directly in the numbers. Did the pass from Kyle Sledge, the quarterback for Bowling Green.
Right at him, wasn't it?
Desmond Harris coming up with a big play at the big time for Dragons. 1st and 10 in Bowling Green territory at the 39-yard line. Gabe Forrester, the pitch to Terkell Boards. He runs. He's got a 1st down at the Bowling Green 27-yard line. And there's the Terkell Boards we expected to see tonight.
The senior doing it for the Dragons.
Doing it. 5'11", 175 senior Terkell Boards. He has been the man since Stephen Goodbar went down with a knee injury against Owensboro a few weeks back. Forrester lines up under center with the eye behind him. He hands off the Boards. Boards breaks through the Bowling Green line to the 24-yard line. A gain of about 3. It's going to be 2nd and 7. Second and about 7 coming up for the Dragons here. Hand off the Boards. You can feel the momentum shifting here at Joe Hood Field in favor of Warren Central. After the turnover, they've been able to move the ball, and Boards has been a monster so far on this drive, albeit short.
He's been a dragon so far, James.
Forrester lines up under center. The pitch is to Boards. Boards gets to the outside, and he's pushed out of bounds.
Right into our cameraman down there.
What looks to be the Bowling Green 19-yard line, very, very close to a first down. It's going to be about 3rd and 1, and the officials are even calling a timeout for a measurement.
I tell you, it looked like a tackle made by Inside Communications' very own Jeremy Noe on the field.
We wish the best of Jeremy on the field. He's got the toughest job in the house tonight. Sideline camera here for Inside Communications. Always a dangerous spot to be in when a player's run out of bounds.
Providing you with a good shot you're seeing right now?
Not now, but before.
Yeah, the referees.
The referees. The chain gang comes out. Looks like Javen Roberson looks like he's trying to help him out there a little bit for Warren Central. And here comes the measurement. It's going to be short nearly by about a yard.
Yeah, that's definitely short.
That's short by about a yard there. It's going to be 3rd and 1. This is a pivotal 3rd down here for Warren Central. Bowling Green, just like Warren Central did, down deep in their own territory, is going to have to buckle down here on defense. Try to stop the Dragons from gaining that 1 yard and getting a fresh set of downs. Warren Central seems to be having the momentum going towards them. Winners of 7 straight. They're looking to put the points on the board first here before the first half comes to a close.
There's a large contingent here from Bowling Green High School as well. A lot of people standing room only, as a matter of fact, on that side of the stadium.
Bowling Green fans are faithful, no doubt. Forrester, the handoff to Boards. It looked like he may have gotten enough forward progress for the first down. He very well may have gotten it. It all depends on where the spot's going to be. And they are going to ask for the measurement, even though it looks like he may not have gotten any further than the previous spot.
Well, if there was a measurement for the last one, this one looks a little bit closer. Good reason to call out. You got another pulling of the chain gang onto the field.
One has to wonder if Warren Central would be willing to go for it on 4th down here early in the first half, or if they're going to send Javen Roberson out there to try and kick for 3. It's short again, here again by almost nearly a yard.
Well, James, you bring up a good point, and I think that because this game is scoreless and because we've seen the defense of the Dragons hold the Bowling Green to kicking only, and that's not their strong spot, yeah, why not go for it if you're Warren Central?
Rick Wood with a tough decision to make, but it looks like it's not going to be too tough. It indeed looks like he's deciding to go for it. 4th and about 1 here. 2:52 to go. First half. Still scoreless. And the Dragons are going to go for it. Much to the happiness of the fans here at Joe Hood Field. The handoff is to Boards. He gets the first down and about an extra yard to what looks to be the Bowling Green 16-yard line. First down is the call. It's going to be first down and 10 from the 16-yard line.
About 2 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in this game. Still well enough time to get something done.
And if you're Warren Central, it's very, very important to you to have the momentum going into the second half. 2:35 to go. They're looking to put the first points on the board of this game here in this first half. Forrester lines up with the eye behind him, Roberson and Boards. The handoff to Boards. Boards up the middle. Boards down to about the 4-yard line. There was a fumble. Was there a fumble? There's a flag on the play now. Let's see what the call is going to be.
Well, if it is a fumble, that's absolutely the worst thing that could have happened.
Fumble goes to Bowling Green. They've already signaled it. They've already signaled it. Yes, Bowling Green got it.
some other media members beside us here. You can hear that indeed Bowling Green recovers.
Bowling Green has recovered the football at their own 5-yard line. The third fumble of the game by Terkell Boards. And this is the one he's really got to be kicking himself about. There you see him getting chided about it by Dion Holtz.
Terrell Boards found him a spot in that line of scrimmage, ran right through it, gained about 15, and well, not 15, but about 5-10 yards. And now it's all a wash.
Well, Sledge is going to line up under center here for Bowling Green. Keeping himself going up the middle. He had a little bit of room to run, but was wrestled down from behind after a gain of about 9. Looks like it'll be about 2nd and 1, but they're asking for a measurement. So indeed, we might have a 1st down and 10 for Bowling Green. Oh, while we've got a little bit of time here, you've heard about high-speed internet access through cable. Now learn how it's a value for you and the whole family. At home on Inside Channel 5 each weekday at 10:30 p.m. and on Mondays at 6:30 p.m., Thursdays at 12:30 p.m., and Fridays at 7:30 p.m. You can learn how high-speed internet access will work for you and the family at home there, Corey.
High-speed internet access, kind of as speedy as the Bowling Green Purples right now as they do achieve the 1st down.
They do indeed get the 1st down. And Sledge is going to line up under center here with the 2 backs behind him, 2 wide receivers out to his right and left. And Terrell Green up the middle for about 3 yards. It's going to be about 2nd and 7 at their own 19 for Bowling Green. Don't forget, fans, at halftime, we've got a marching band, presumably Warren Central, seeing as how we are here at Joe Hood Field.
It'd be a pretty tough ovation if Bowling Green and the Purples brought their band over here.
To entertain you here at halftime of this Class 3A 2nd round football matchup. They're calling it 2nd and 5 from the 19-yard line for Bowling Green. Sledge hands off to Rhodes. Rhodes out to the outside. And looks like he got the 1st down and then got out of bounds wisely to stop the clock by the sophomore. To about Bowling Green's 25-yard line. Looks like they'll be about 1st and 10 from their 26-yard line for Bowling Green. Well, Corey Ramsey, that turnover's got to hurt Warren Central, as it looked like they were so close to putting points on the board. 3 turnovers for both teams is really what's keeping this game tied at 0.
Yeah, it's pretty evenly matched because of the turnovers, and because of without the turnovers, it still would be one heck of an evenly matched game. As I said at the beginning, it's going to be real close all the way to the end.
And that's to determine a recount.
Yeah.
1:16 to go in the 1st half. Still tied at 0. Kyle Sledge under center. He hands off to Terrell Green. Looks like he gains about 7 yards straight up the middle to his own 33-yard line. And it's going to be about 2nd and 3, maybe 4 for Bowling Green.
It's Green and Rose back and forth. They're the ones handling the running situation for Bowling Green, and I don't blame them because the last time Bowling Green tried to pass, they got an interception.
They did. Bowling Green lines up. Looks like they're going to run, maybe try to run the ball out. Rhodes is wrestled down immediately after he receives the ball for Bowling Green. After he gets the handoff, he was taken right down.
Clock still running.
A loss of maybe 1. But it's looking more like no gain, and that's not good for Warren Central if you're a Dragons fan. Dion Holtz more than slow to get up, and he looks to be clutching.
Favoring his right leg.
Favoring his right leg, to say the least. And with 183 tackles on the year coming into this game, that's not good for Warren Central. However, he is jogging off the field by his own accord, and that looks to be it for the 1st half. There's the gun and an intermission. The Warren Central Dragons hosting the Bowling Green Purples here at Joe Hood Field, and it is tied at 0. 24 minutes left to determine who will go to the quarterfinals of the Class 3A football playoffs. Tied at 0, and Corey Ramsey, each team had 3 turnovers in the 1st half. There you see Rick Wood on the screen talking to his special teams unit who will kick off to Bowling Green to start this half. What are these teams going to have to do to put some points on the board and hopefully for either one of those teams to win this game?
For one thing, you mentioned they're going to have to stay away from turnovers, James. It's something they've had too many of, and that's one turnover. They've had 3 apiece. Anytime you get one, that's too many. I tell you what, when you combine Warren Central and Bowling Green, you get a purple dragon. Well, Puff, the Magic Dragon, was purple, and both these teams hoping to work a little magic to make it further on in the postseason tonight.
Do either one of them hope to live by the sea?
They're going to live by a trophy if they keep on the way that they want to go on to win tonight, and they would meet either
Paducah Tillman or Owensboro,
which are 2 very good teams.
Tillman was able to beat Franklin Simpson, I believe, 42-12 last week. Franklin Simpson, a district foe of both these teams, both the Purples and Warren Central. Always a perennial power here in the first region of Class 3A.
I'd also like to make a correction. The last time Warren Central beat Bowling Green was actually in November of 1993 in a postseason game. I incorrectly stated it was back in September of that year, but it was in November in a postseason matchup. Warren Central beat Bowling Green. That, folks, is the last time that happened.
Back to receive the kickoff for Bowling Green is going to be Jonathan Burton, Sean Wilson, and Anthony Rhodes. And there we go. We start the second half with a short little low squib kick. It's taken by Rhodes. He takes the ball. He's at his own 20, and he slips and falls at his own 23-yard line. Bowling Green will take over there. 1st and 10 for the first drive of the second half. Bowling Green going to try to put some points on the board here, trying to get a lead, get some momentum here in this first drive of the second half. Sledge comes up the line, he lines up under center, and he's got the eye behind him. One wide up to his left, one wide out to his right. The handoff there was to Terrell Green, and he gets up to his own 27 or 28-yard line, and there was a flag on the play after the whistle. Interesting to see what that flag's going to be on. Is the play going to stand? Is it going to move forward, or is it going to move backward? Looked like the preliminary signal was a face mask. Holding on Bowling Green is one of the calls. And personal foul against Bowling Green.
Oh, that's a big penalty right there.
That is a big penalty. Of course, Warren Central's only going to accept one of them. One would think the personal foul would be it because there were 15 yards associated with that penalty.
When you talk about turnovers, the personal foul one is always one with the asterisk beside of it, because that one is one that really gives you a lot of yards if you're on the team that didn't receive it.
That's true. When you get the personal foul penalty there, it's a 15-yard penalty most usually associated with it. And the ball is indeed moving backwards. The official standing with it at the Bowling Green 18-yard line. And then moves even further backwards. Bowling Green is going to have the ball at their own 9-yard line. After all is said and done, it's going to be 1st and about 27 from their own 8-yard line. Sledge under center. The play action. He keeps it for himself, and he is brought down at his own 6-yard line. Credit Dion Holtz with the quarterback sack for Warren Central.
A couple of times he just could have stood up and watched and looked where his receivers were. Couldn't find anybody. Thought about running it himself. That didn't work either.
Dion Holtz, the big man, who we saw injure himself at the end of the first half for Warren Central, comes back and starts the second half in a big, big way, tackling quarterback Kyle Sledge for a loss. It's going to be 2nd and 29 is the listing from the Bowling Green 7-yard line for the Purples. Every down from here is a passing down. And Sledge lining up in the shotgun. If Warren Central can get back there, Bowling Green is in dangerous position for a safety. Sledge in the shotgun, he drops back, he's in his own end zone. The pass is to Evans Walker, a 5'8", 147-pound junior, gets to his own 24-yard line, a gain of about 17. Actually, his own 25-yard line, a gain of about 18. It's going to be 3rd and about 9 for Bowling Green, yet still a passing down, which is never a good thing because you know Warren Central is going to be expected.
Well, they sure were last time Bowling Green tried to pass the ball. It landed right into the lap of one of the Warren Central Dragons. Let's see what happens this time.
Sledge once again in the shotgun, 3 wideouts. Looks like the blitz was going to be coming from Roberson, but he couldn't predict it. And the pass was tipped by number 11, Casey Dye. He was unable to come up with the interception, but it's going to bring up a 4th and 9 from their own 25 for Bowling Green, and they're going to be forced to kick the ball away. Matt Hardenberg going to handle the duties. He's going to be kicking to the tandem of Terkell Boards and Stephen Goodbar. There's the snap. Hardenberg with the kick. Warren Central almost got back to him. High spiraling kick. It takes a Bowling Green bounce at the 49 down to about the Warren Central 44-yard line. And that's where they'll take over 1st and 10 with 9:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. Folks, just a reminder, this game, which you're watching on this Monday night on Inside Channel 5, is going to be re-aired tomorrow night, Tuesday, November 14th at 5 p.m. It's going to be followed by a replay of the Veterans Day Parade that took place last Saturday, November 4th, which will also be re-aired Wednesday at 7:30, Thursday at 6, and Saturday at noon here on Inside Communications, Channel 5. Gabe Forrester lining up under center. He's got one back joining him in the backfield, and that is Javen Roberson. He is able to get about 2 yards to his own 46 and bring about a 2nd and 8.
Both teams very equally matched tonight so far, as represented by the score. Could come down to a last quarter effort by either team to possibly, well, definitely win this game tonight.
You're also running into a situation, Corey, where the team who scores first may be the team who scores last as well.
Maybe the only team that scores.
Interesting as you see here, Boards lining up as a wide receiver, but he's put in motion. Forrester hikes the ball and then the handoff to Boards as he's able to get to about his own 49 of a pickup of about 3 to bring up about a 3rd and 5 for the Dragons. We've seen Central tease that play all night, normally with Shane Green, but that time Boards was in motion and he did indeed get the handoff. He's able to take the end around for about 3.
Yeah, try it with a couple of different guys and tease that purple defense.
That time Bowling Green didn't seem to bite on it and brought about this 3rd and 5. Forrester with the eye behind him. He's got 2 wideouts to his left. The handoff is to Boards. Boards breaks through. Boards has room to run. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, the stiff arm. Touchdown, Terkell Boards. Warren Central puts points on the board with their man, Terkell Boards, from 51 yards. Terkell Boards romps for the touchdown. Javen Roberson going to be in to attempt the extra point. Excuse me.
Well, he found an open hole and he just went for it. Ran it all the way into the end zone.
That's what they've been looking to do with Boards all night, Corey.
Pushed off 2 or 3 guys. Looking now for the extra point.
The snap is down, and it's a fake.
Rolling out to the right side, throwing it into the end zone. Incomplete.
It's tipped and incomplete. Conversion has failed. The attempt from Nick Wheat to Dion Holtz was no good. And that's going to leave the score at the Dragons of Warren Central 6 and the Purples of Bowling Green 0 here with 8:26 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well, you got to believe Warren Central had to try to do something like that, because if Bowling Green does in fact score, or it could be the last chance for either team to put points on the board, and 1 or 2 extra could be the difference in this ball game.
Much like we alluded to earlier, Corey, there's absolutely no way to tell. The team that scores first, maybe the team that scores last as well.
Right you are.
So Warren Central getting the opportunity to kick off with a feel-good, happiness feeling, just having scored a touchdown and taking the lead on the team widely recognized as the best team in Warren County.
And that's a tough choice to make.
Tough choice to make.
A lot of good teams are out here in Bowling Green area, Warren County area.
You've got Greenwood, who's moved up to 4A now.
Yeah.
Bowling Green, Warren East, who had a tremendous season last year after going 0-10 last year, where Mark Spader did a tremendous job leading his team to a 5-5 record. They almost made the playoffs.
Well, it's a 6-0 game now. They're returning a good 50-yard touchdown.
The kickoff, end over end. It's received by number
Breaking outside, up over the 30 to about the 32-yard line.
Number 3, Sean Wilson, was able to bring the ball up to his own 31-yard line after receiving the kickoff. And that's where Bowling Green will take over with 8:17 to go in the third quarter.
5'10", 164-pound seniors getting the job done here for Bowling Green. The Purples must put points on the board now to even have a shot at this thing.
And that's a good point you just made there about him being a senior. A lot of these Bowling Green players, we saw a tremendous amount of seniors come out for the coin toss. A lot of these Bowling Green players do not want this to be their last career game.
Definitely not.
Sledge under center, the handoff is to Green.
Running hard, big yardage, Terrell all the way up to the 40.
Green with the ball all the way up to his own 49 or yard line, almost at midfield. Picks up the first down and more. A pickup of about 18 on the play. He's at midfield, 1st and 10 for the Purples. Extremely, extremely big pickup there by Terrell Green. Sledge is going to be under center with the eye behind him. 2 wideouts for the Purples. Handoff is to Terrell Green again, and he's stopped after a gain of about 2. After a gain of about 2. We'll say it's 2nd and 8. But according to the spot, it looks like it's going to be about 2nd and 7 after his pickup of about 3, so I stand corrected. It'll be about 2nd and 7 from the Warren Central 47-yard line for Bowling Green. Once again, we see that familiar setup. Sledge under center with the eye behind him, 2 wideouts. Handoff is to Green again, and he is wrestled down at the 44-yard line. He tries to stretch out for a couple more yards. Pickup of about 3, and it'll be 3rd and 4 for the Purples.
Picked up good yardage for diving into the line like that. Now they're even closer to where they want to be.
Well, Terrell Green's a fullback, so most often you're going to see him run directly up the middle, just get all the power yards he can get.
And drag a couple of guys with him along the way.
Now Sledge under center in the same setup. Eye behind him, 2 wideouts. The option, and Sledge has the first down. He's shoved out of bounds at about the Warren Central 29-yard line. A pickup of about 16. Going to be 1st and 10 for the Purples. Interestingly enough, after Warren Central scores, Bowling Green is doing a great job of moving the ball down the field.
And without the use of the passing game, too. Unsuccessful for them. Hey, we got to depend on a running game, and that's exactly what they're doing and succeeding on right now.
Well, Terrell Green and Anthony Rhodes have been instrumental all night for Kyle Sledge and the Bowling Green offense. Here he is under center again. He gives the ball to Terrell Green, who plows up the middle. Down to about the 24-yard line of Warren Central. That's a pickup of about 5 yards on what amounts to nothing more than a power running play. No blocking other than from the line. That's great running by Terrell Green.
Green means go for Bowling Green right now, and he is definitely getting the job done.
Green does mean go. He's a 5'11", 186-pound junior. Fullback for the Purples. There we go again, seeing the same setup we've seen all drive. Sledge under center. Hands off to Green again. He gets down to the Warren Central 19-yard line. Looks like he probably has a first down. And that's what they're doing. They're moving the chains, indicative of a Bowling Green first down. 1st and 10 from the Warren Central 18 for the Purples. Kyle Sledge encourages the Bowling Green faithful to get on their feet and cheer the Purples on to what he hopes will be the go-ahead score. Bowling Green going with the same setup, 2 wideouts with the eye behind Sledge. The option. He sneaks his way through and gets down to about the 15-yard line. Shane Green indicating that it's Warren Central's ball, but there was no apparent fumble. Excuse me, that's the 10-yard line he's reached. Bowling Green going to have 2nd and 1 from Warren Central's 10-yard line, and Corey Ramsey, they've got to avoid having what happened to them last time they were deep in Warren Central territory happening to them again.
That'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
For Bowling Green, it would be terrible.
Yeah.
Kyle Sledge under center. Takes off for the option. He sneaks through and he's hammered at about the 7-yard line. Excuse me, 6-yard line. Looks like he gains about 4. It's going to be 1st down and goal from the 6-yard line for Bowling Green. 4:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. Bowling Green looking to tie the score or go ahead after the extra point. For Warren Central, you have to buckle down here. Try to keep Bowling Green from getting those 6 yards. They're going to lead to a touchdown for them. And the Purples go back to the same setup we've seen all drive. Sledge with the handoff to Green. Green tries to plow his way up the middle, and he's stopped for no gain, nothing doing up the middle for Terrell Green. Here you see him getting up off the ground, helped up by his teammate. Going to remain 2nd and goal from about the 6-yard line for Bowling Green.
2nd and goal now from the 5.
Maybe the 5 after a pickup of about 1. Very, very short pickup for Terrell Green.
Less than 4 minutes to play now in the 3rd quarter.
And Kyle Sledge trying to lead his team down to a touchdown. Terrell Green, handoff again. He runs hard to about the 2-yard line. Looks like a gain of about 3. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the Warren Central 2. Bowling Green, 2 yards away.
They've got one more shot to run this ball, and then they're going to have to try the kicking game once more.
Well, Corey Ramsey, you've got to wonder. 4th and goal from the 2-yard line.
Try to run it.
And Bowling Green might not go for it. 3rd and goal here for Bowling Green. Kyle Sledge with the eye behind him. Hands off to Terrell Green. And it is a touchdown. Terrell Green gains the majority of the yards on this drive and scores 6 points, tying the score. And if you're a Bowling Green fan, hopefully not for long. Matt Hardenberg out on the field. He's going to try the extra point for the Purples. Jonathan Burton's the holder. There's the snap. The whistle is blown, flag is down. Probably some movement on the line. Preliminary call is offsides on Warren Central. That's going to move the ball half the distance to the goal.
Make it a little bit easier for the Purples.
Make it about 1.5 yards easier for the Purples here on this extra point. And here we go again, replay. And you try to boot the ball through the uprights, make it 7-6. Burton the holder, the snap, the kick is up, and it's good. The Purples celebrate with 3:06 to go in the 3rd quarter. They've taken a 7-6 lead on the Warren Central Dragons here in this Class 3A playoff football matchup.
Bowling Green fans here, just about as many as there are for Warren Central on the other side of the field. A good matchup and evenly matched fans here at Joe Hood Field.
And Corey, how important is it that Bowling Green was able to kick that extra point there and take the 1-point lead? How pivotal do you think that's going to be come the end of the game?
1 or 2 points could decide this thing, and Warren Central thought about that early, tried to get the 2-point conversion there on their last point after attempt. It was unsuccessful. Bowling Green just taking no chances, doing whatever they have to do, and did it pretty much the way you would do it, kick the ball, and were successful on that, and now lead this game by 1 point, and that could decide it come the end of this one.
Terkell Boards, Shane Green, and Desmond Harris back deep to receive the kick from Matt Hardenberg. You hear the "We Are Dragons" chants from Warren Central's fans. Hardenberg with the kickoff. It's high and it's deep. Shane Green receives the ball at about his own 4-yard line. He brings it out. He's got room to run. He's through to about the 32-yard line. And that's where Warren Central will take over 1st and 10 at their own 33. Corey Ramsey, you know Warren Central's got to be looking to go those extra 67 yards, pick up another touchdown.
Well, James, they almost accomplished it that time. I tell you what, he got out there and just was on his way.
He really, if he had escaped the leg tackle that he was brought down with, only had the kicker to beat. But alas, he was brought down. Forrester under center, the one back is Boards. He gets the handoff. Nothing doing. He stopped for no gain. More than likely will bring up 2nd and 10. And you know Boards is the man for Warren Central. Forrester, as you just saw, handed the ball off to him. He's been the man ever since Stephen Goodbar went down with a knee injury in the game against the Owensboro Red Devils, which was really the turning point of Warren Central's season. 17-14 overtime win here at Joe Hood Field back in September. Since then, Warren Central's been like a steamroller. They haven't lost since they lost to Bowling Green here on September 8th. Forrester keeps the ball for himself on the end around. And he is brought down at his own 36-yard line after a gain of about 2. Excuse me, gain of about 3. Looks like it's going to bring up about 3rd and 5, maybe 6 for the Dragons. You got to think passing down here. 1:48 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Bowling Green Purples leading the Warren Central Dragons 7-6 on the road to Louisville and Cardinal Stadium, December 2nd, Class 3A football final. Terkell Boards receives the handoff. He plows his way ahead to about his own 40. Looks like he's going to be short of the 1st down by about 1.5 yards or 2. It's going to bring up about 4th and a long, long one for Warren Central. It looks like they're electing to kick the ball away. Kevin Bashan's going to be the man deep to punt. Jonathan Burton going to be the man deep to receive the kick for Bowling Green.
Time continuing to run off the clock now, down to a minute.
And the time on the scoreboard has gone out for us here at Joe Hood Field. There it is back. Kevin Bashan with the kick. Burton gets the ball at his own 21. He gets around and is brought down at his own 27-yard line. After a pickup of 6 on the return, Bowling Green will take over at their own 27. 1st and 10. 46 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter with a slim 1-point lead.
1-point lead, but that's all they need right now, James. They are the leaders of this game. Winner will face Owensboro or Paducah Tillman in the Class 3A Region 1 championship on November the 17th. Those two teams playing at Paducah Tillman tonight.
Sledge with the same setup we saw in the last drive. Sledge with the option, very dangerous. Pitch back. Anthony Rhodes is brought down at his own 30-yard line, but we're having Terrell Green for Bowling Green. Terrell Green.
Oh, this is not good.
Down on the ground, the man who scored the touchdown for Bowling Green, who gained the majority of the yards on the last drive for the Purples, as a matter of fact. Down on the ground, looks like he may have gotten injured on the fake handoff to him when he was brought back through. They're examining his left leg, are the trainers, his left foot to be exact. You've got to wonder if somebody stepped on his ankle.
It's a good spot for us to take a 30-second timeout.
You need to know whether you should or should not invest your money. Worried about where to invest so that you'll get the best return?
Good question.
Watch Your Money Matters on Inside Channel 5 on Mondays at 7 p.m., Tuesdays at noon, Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Financial advisor Tony Walker will make it easy for you to understand. Corey Ramsey, should I invest my money?
Should invest your money? Should invest anything. Invest everything. Go ahead. Bowling Green High School, Dr. Fred Carter, in his 8th year as principal there. And our own Virgil Evers of Insight Communications, also a principal there at Bowling Green High School. First class graduated from Bowling Green. Virgil Livers, excuse me. And the first class graduated from Bowling Green back in 1912. They've been here for a little while.
They have been around for a little while. One would have to assume that's the first high school here in Warren County.
One of the first. Warren Central was created by a consolidation of Warren County High School and Alvaton High School back in August of 1968. So they've been here for a little while. Good rivalry between the two schools starting in '68.
Well, Warren Central and Bowling Green have long since been football powers here in Bowling Green. Warren County, this region, this class, this district, if you will.
The whole state pretty much is a football state.
Indeed.
Aside from basketball, which gets pretty good billing too.
They like basketball here in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Sledge with the handoff to Rhodes. Who gets ahead to his own 34-yard line. Looks like that's going to bring it up about 33, maybe 4. And it also looks like it's going to bring an end to the third quarter. We're at the end of the third period. 12 minutes to go in the second round. Class 3A football playoff matchup. The Purples from Bowling Green High School lead the Dragons from Warren Central by a score of 7-6. You don't want to say they opened the floodgates there in the third quarter, but after being tied at halftime, knotted at 0. Corey Ramsey, both teams were able to put the ball in the end zone in the third quarter. What do you think lies ahead for us here in the fourth quarter?
Well, it's kind of like the, what do they call it, the dikes in Holland, the little guy poking his finger into the little rock there. Any leak could mean disaster. Right now, Bowling Green has a leak of a lead, 7-6, only 1 point, but it could mean a flood of a win for that team tonight.
Indeed it could, and one reversal of fortunes we saw in the third quarter was that both teams were able to keep themselves away from turnovers after each team committed 3 in the first half. They were able to keep the ball in their own possession in the third quarter. How important do you think that's going to be to see who, if any team turns the ball over in the fourth quarter, how important is it that the team that wins the battle of those turnovers wins this particular football game?
Turnovers have helped. They've also hindered because either team is kind of equal. When one loses the ball, they pretty much get it back 2 or 3 drives later. And it looks like it's not really playing a factor because it's so evenly matched. If one team had a lopsided advantage as far as turnovers, which is not something you want to have, then that would be a case we'd have to make. But right now, both teams pretty much equal as far as that is concerned.
Sledge is under center and the handoff. Ooh, the option. And Sledge keeps the ball. He's got room to run. Sledge looks to be gone. No, there's a fumble on the field. Who's got the ball? Warren Central's claiming they have it. Bowling Green claiming they have it. Sledge was caught from behind and fumbled the ball. And the preliminary indication is that there's going to be a first down for Warren Central.
Now, weren't we just talking about turnovers?
It seems like we were just talking about turnovers. That's the 4th turnover of this contest for Bowling Green, the 7th turnover overall. And Sledge for Bowling Green is down on the ground, looks to be injured. That does not spell good news, the turnover or the injury for the Purples. Bowling Green, when all is said and done, will take over at their own 34-yard line. 1st and 10 with 11:45 left in the game.
You don't want to see any of your team members go down, and especially your quarterback.
Especially your quarterback that's been leading you all year. Sledge is a 6'1", 177-pound junior. But if he remains hurt, Tyson Steelman, a 5'9", 143-pound sophomore, would be the man of the hour for Bowling Green, the man that would have to lead them to victory. You never want to see this, especially if you're a Bowling Green fan. A reminder, fans, tomorrow night here on Insight Communications Channel 5 at 5 p.m. Corey Ramsey and I will join you again for the replay of this telecast.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
We'll be back
we may
here.
even say some of the same things.
Yeah.
As we replay this telecast of the Warren Central Dragons and the Bowling Green Purples, Class 3A football matchup. You may already know who wins by the time you view it, but hey, Not a bad idea to tune in.
It's been a good year of coverage here on Inside Communications. A lot of good football starting back in August. And we look forward to basketball season now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just got an update. In the fourth quarter, Paducah, Tillman, and Owensboro are knotted at 21 points apiece. Very, very pivotal game.
Kind of like this game, very close game.
Of a lot of importance to the fans here at Joe Hood Field.
Yes, indeed, because if it is Owensboro that wins that game and it's Warren Central that wins this one, Warren Central supposedly, as far as statistics and past record is concerned, especially for this year, could in fact go even further in the playoffs.
That's true, and more important than that, to the fans here at Joe Hood Field, Warren Central would host that game if Owensboro were to become victorious by virtue of the fact that Warren Central indeed was district champions while Owensboro finished second by virtue of Warren Central's one win over Owensboro. The fans here at Joe Hood Field for Warren Central trying to get some fire into their team. Forrester lines up with the eye behind him. He hands off to Terkell Boards, who gets about 1 yard to his own 35. He'll bring up 2nd and 9. Bourne seems to be the man for Warren Central. He's got the majority of the ball carrying duties here tonight for the Dragons.
And he's been there the entire game, too. Earlier in this game, we talked about him.
Terkell Boards not having quite the night many would have expected him to have, not having quite the night he'd expect himself to have. Yet, Coach Rickwood still not losing confidence. Terkell Boards gets the ball. He hops over 2 defenders and gets out to his own 41-yard line. It would be about 3rd and 3 after the gain of about 6.
He's leaping over some guys there.
Another player down. The officials have asked for a timeout. That is a Bowling Green player who is down on the field. Hard to see exactly who that is right now. Looked like he was having a bit of a tough time standing. Injuries have plagued Bowling Green tonight, as we've seen nothing short of 3 purples down on the field requesting trainer's assistance to be helped.
Especially in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Injuries are something you don't want to see affect a game, but unfortunately, in a rough and tumble, high contact sport like football, they frequently do. Warren Central. That is Sean Wilson for Bowling Green, but he is up and he's jogging off the field even under his own accord. And Warren Central is going to break huddle, knowing that they need 3 yards to obtain a first down by 1 point here with 10:59 to go in the third quarter. 10:59 to go in the game. Gabe Forrester under center. The pitch is to Terkell Boards. He's got a first down. He's to the 47-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Warren Central 3 yards short of midfield. The holding on Warren Central. Going to bring this play back. Will more than likely be about 3rd and 13. And if you're a Warren Central fan, you don't like to see that.
But the Bowling Green fans sure liked it. I tell you, if you were standing in the center of the field, it's kind of like stereophonic sound. One side's up, the other side's up. It's kind of like you're hearing both ears.
One channel goes out, the other channel comes up.
Yeah.
10 yards from the spot of the foul, it's going to be 3rd, and they're marking it at 9, closer to 10. Gabe Forrester lining up under center. He's got 3 wideouts with only Roberson behind him. The handoff to Holtz. He fakes the reverse. He gets in around, but he is stopped. He is not going to get it. He stopped at his own 38, it looked like, off his forward progress. Pushed back to his own 35. And Warren Central is going to need to kick the ball away.
Well, that was a big tackle in the shade of purple right there, James.
Big tackle in the shade of purple indeed. Warren Central facing 4th and about 5 from their own 39-yard line. The officials ask for a timeout.
4th down. 4th down. Now you got your back longer so you can run the ball.
Didn't take long. They start again. Kevin Vachon going to kick off deep to Jonathan Benton.
There's the snap.
Bashan with a low end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce. It's going to be low. Hard to handle for Harmon. He's brought down almost immediately at his own 24-yard line after a pickup of only about 3 on the return. Going to be 1st and 10, Bowling Green. It's going to be interesting to see who's in at quarterback after Kyle Sledge was hurt during the last series of downs. The Bowling Green going to try to hold on to this ball here at their own 24-yard line. And right now, if you're the Purples, going to try to run some time off the clock. Kyle Sledge and Terrell Green are both back for the Purples. Sledge under center, hands the ball off to Rhodes, and he's stopped maybe for a loss of about 1, almost immediately after he receives the handoff. And once again, it's going to be 2nd and 10. We'll do it over again, 2nd and 10 at the Bowling Green 24-yard line.
Purples have got to depend on their running game because their passing game not working too good for them thus far, and they've got a long way to go now, kind of like the old Smokey and the Bandit tune from Jerry Reed. Long way to go and a short time to get there, too.
9 minutes to get there if you're Bowling Green. Of course, 9 minutes to get to the other end zone if you're Warren Central. Got to score if you're the Dragons. The handoff to Rhodes, and he's hit immediately. Stopped at his own 20-yard line. He's loss of about 5, about 3rd and 15 from Bowling Green's 19-yard line. Looks like it's going to be a passing down for the Purples. Kyle Sledge has 1 interception tonight. Sure, Desmond Harris, the young man that picked up that interception for Warren Central, chomping at the bit right now at the opportunity to pick up another pass deep in Bowling Green territory. Sledge out of the shotgun with 3 wideouts. Drops back the pass. Holtz has a beat on him. He hits him as he throws. And Javon Robertson was there, but the pass is ruled incomplete. It hit the ground before it bounced into the hands of the receiver. That was number 25, Anthony Rhodes there. And it's going to be 4th and 15. Matt Hardenberg for Bowling Green going to kick the ball away. Back to receive the punt are going to be Terkell Boards and Stephen Goodbar. The 2 young men who have carried the ball the most this year for the Dragons. Hardenberg low snap. Central almost got to it. And the punt is way out of bounds. Central going to take over at the official marking of the 35-yard line of Bowling Green. Short field to work with for the Dragons.
That punt was kicked into the stands there for some Bowling Green fans. Usually something you see at a baseball game, pretty unusual at a football game.
The only difference is the fans don't get to take the footballs home.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for the Dragons at the Bowling Green 35-yard line. And Corey Ramsey, in this case, they've got a short way to go and 7 minutes, 56 seconds to get there. Forster's under center with the eye behind him. The handoff is to Terkell Boards. He's hit immediately right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from his own, from the Bowling Green 35-yard line.
Well, you hear these Warren Central fans standing up, and for good reason. They're led by the cheerleaders down in Joe Hood Field, and the cheerleaders are the 2000 YMCA regional champions. As a matter of fact, at the 2000 UCA camp, they won the Superior Trophy and had 4 UCA All-Stars. So if you've got that good of a cheerleading squad, it gets the crowd into it. It gets behind this Warren Central team, and perhaps producing a win for the Dragons tonight.
Congratulations to the Dragons cheerleading squad on that. Boards takes the handoff from Forrester. He plows ahead to the Bowling Green 31-yard line. Gain of about 3. Looks like he's going to pick up. It's going to be about 3rd and 6 for for Warren Central at the Bowling Green 31-yard line. Pivotal 3rd down. 6 minutes, 48 seconds to go for the Dragons. Forrester under center and calls timeout. Dragons call timeout. They're going to talk it over. Coach Rick Wood. And try to determine exactly what they're going to do on this 3rd and 5.
Coach Rick Wood for the Warren Central Dragons. Athletic Director at Warren Central, Eric Wilson. And the principal, Barry Dye. Mr. Barry Dye in his 4th year as principal. That guy's a big NASCAR fan, too. Do you know that, James?
Is he?
Yeah, he wants to race stock cars or be involved with the team after he retires from the administration at a school, probably Warren Central. He has race stock cars at Beach Bend Raceway Park and at Highland Rim Speedway. And once again, he wants to join a NASCAR team after he gets out of high schools and stuff like that. He rides a Harley Davidson, too.
Now, Corey, is there any particular driver whose team he would like to join?
Right now, it would probably be Bobby Labonte. If he wanted to go to Winston Cup, he could join a team that's about to lock up a Winston Cup championship this weekend.
Now, that's not a factor of trying to jump on the fair weather bandwagon there with Mr. Labonte. As you said, he is. I understand he has to finish 17th or better to lock up his 17th or better this week to lock up the Winston Cup championship. Is that right, Corey Ramsey?
I believe so.
I know a lot of people out there hoping the man in 2nd place, the Intimidator, might be able to hop up and capture his 9th trophy. There's the reverse. Terkell Boards to the outside, and he is stopped. Brought down for a loss at the Bowling Green 33-yard line. Gonna bring up 4th and about 7. Interesting to see what the Purples are gonna do here on defense and what the Dragons are gonna do on offense. Very, very short field to work with, but it looks like they're gonna take Kevin Vachon, put him out there and ask him to punt the ball away to Bowling Green.
Time continues to run off the clock. That's going to be a factor, too.
About 6 minutes to go. Vachon back deep to kick. Bowling Green has no one deep to receive the ball. And Vachon looking to kick directly out of bounds. And the ball is down at the Bowling Green 2-yard line. Beautiful, beautiful punt by Kevin Vachon. Stopped dead where it bounced. Punt was only about 32 yards, not very deep punt, but put exactly in the spot where he wanted it to be placed.
Just died on impact, didn't it?
It did die on impact. You had Shane Green down there to stop the ball, but he wasn't even needed. Ball didn't make its way into the end zone, luckily for the Dragons. Bowling Green's going to take over at their own 2, deep in their own territory. Sledge is under center and keeps it himself, and he is stopped at about his own 3 or 4 after a pickup of maybe 2. Try to plow his way through the line there with the quarterback saying, did he not? It's going to bring up 2nd and about 9 for the Purples at their own 3. Time does continue to run off the clock. 5:15 to go here in the game. And the Purples watchful of that as they lead 7-6. So you see Sledge under center. Hands the ball off to Terrell Green, and he picks up what looks to be a 1st down out at about his own 13-yard line. First down, Purples at the Warren Central 14-yard line. 1st and 10 with 5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter.
Pretty chilly night here at Bowling Green. Temperature of 40 degrees at the offset. Wind chill of 33 degrees. However, if you're out on the field, you kind of sweat a little bit, makes you a little bit warmer. Got to feel sorry for those guys standing on the sidelines, though.
The freshmen and the sophomores not exactly getting to experience what warm weather is right now. Green takes the handoff a couple of yards across the 15-yard line to about his own 16, but it looks like they're going to spot the ball at the 15. Going to be about 2nd and 9 for the Purples at their own 15-yard line. Clock continues to run, 4:19 to go.
And the Purples are using that to their advantage too, James, because they're staying there in the huddle as long as they can, avoiding the delay of game call, but they're trying to run as much time off the clock as they can.
Sledge back under center for Bowling Green. The handoff is to Green again. And Green gets out to the Warren Central 23-yard line before he's brought down. He's going to be a couple yards shy of a first down. It's going to bring up third and maybe a long 2.
Could you say that any longer?
I could have said it long.
Great game here tonight. Close enough, you'd have to have a recount afterwards.
You may have to have a recount. I'm wondering if Bowling Green didn't acquire their one extra vote from some ballots that were thrown out in Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
Kyle Sledge hands off to Terrell Green.
Kyle Sledge running forward.
It looked like they were, excuse me, Kyle Sledge with the quarterback keeper. And looks like he ran just about a yard shy of the first down. Interesting to see what the Purples are going to do here. Interesting call on the spot, automatic, without measurement, called a first down.
That's something you don't see every day.
Not with the first down marker directly on the 25-yard line. He barely got to the 25. The nose of the football's on the 25, and they gave him a first down. Sledge going to line up with the eye behind him. Same setup we've seen from Bowling Green the entire second half. Hand off to Terrell Green, and he's hit immediately. After a pickup of about 1, it's going to be about 2nd and 9 from their own 26 from Bowling Green, but I'm sure that field position is not something the Purples are worried about.
2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. They're up by 1. They've got possession. 2nd and 10, and it looks like though if they hold the ball, well, the clock is stopped right now, but the point being that it's theirs to lose right now.
Warren Central has just been forced to call their second timeout in the second half. That means they've only got 1 remaining. And with 2:45 to go, if they acquire the ball back, it's going to make it all that much more difficult for them to score. Down 7-6, it's going to be imperative that they do so as well.
Because you've got to have that knowledge from a timeout to know exactly what you play to run.
Not to mention, with Warren Central's offense to be to run the ball upfield, if they're unable to get out of bounds, it's going to be important for them to keep stopping the clock, and without timeouts, it's going to be very hard to do without incomplete passes and without getting out of bounds.
Very tough indeed, James. Winner facing Owensboro or Paducah Tillman. Last we heard that game was tied up, a very close game as well.
2nd and 10. They're calling it for Bowling Green at their own 25-yard line. Sledge lines up under center. He keeps it himself. Plows ahead to about the 30-yard line. A pickup of about 5. It'll be 3rd and 5. Big third down for the Purples. And the Dragons, for that matter. 3rd and 5 for Bowling Green.
They can run it into about 2:05 now before they snap the ball.
Well, Bowling Green is going to be able to take that clock down to about 2 minutes and 5 seconds. You can see the Warren County faithful just hoping, Warren Central rather, just hoping that they can get that ball back and possibly another score before this one's over.
Interestingly enough, with 2:07 to go here in the game, Kyle Sledge for Bowling Green calls a timeout. It's going to be Bowling Green's first time out of this half. It's going to stop the clock. Allow for a little bit of time before this 3rd and 5. Don't forget to tune in to Inside Communications Channel 5 for a replay of the Veterans Day Parade. It took place this past Saturday, November 4th.
It's that time of year, isn't it?
It is that
Parade
time of
season.
year.
Christmas parade's coming up in less than about 3 weeks.
And here in a couple weeks, you'll have the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah,
which is
always something to look.
traditional.
Yeah, Katie Kurt and what Willard Scott up there in the booth, kind of telling you about all that stuff. And Garfield floating down. What is it? What road do they go? Is that Broadway? What is that?
I think that's Broadway.
Yeah. Some road there in front of Macy's. We know that much. What are they showing at Veterans Day Parade?
They're showing it this Tuesday at 7 p.m. directly after our replay of the Inside Communications football telecast. They're showing it Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., Thursday at 6 p.m., and Saturday at noon. That's all right here on Inside Communications, Cable Channel 5.
Love those parades.
Parades are great, aren't they?
Sure are.
Kyle Sledge looking to line up under center for Bowling Green. You know the Purples have to be looking for a first down here. Hand off to Green. And he's able to get the first down and more to the 41-yard line. Terrell Green to his own 41, and that is a backbreaker for the Warren Central Dragons.
The Dragons came in here tonight hoping that they could, for once in 7 years, win a game over Bowling Green. It's been November of 1993 since that has occurred, and it doesn't look like right now, unless something happens, that that's going to happen.
And right now, if you're a Warren Central fan, you have to be pointing at the 2-point conversion attempt in the third quarter and saying, why did they not kick the ball through the uprights? First and 10 with 1:45 to go for Bowling Green, and they may be able to run out the clock here. Handoffs to Terrell Green. He gets ahead to his own 44, and for Bowling Green tonight, he may be the most valuable player.
Well, there have been 2 or 3 tonight. Everybody's kind of stepped up, and that's what it took, a team effort to win against a very tenacious Warren Central Dragon team that came out here tonight.
You see the fans starting to file out for Warren Central. The stands are emptying as the Dragon faithful make it ahead home. Warren Central, it appears Warren Central has used their final timeout here with 1:31 to go. It's going to be about 2nd and 5 when we get back for Bowling Green. And it may be all she wrote for the Dragons.
Maybe indeed.
If this stands up, Bowling Green next week will play the winner of tonight's game in Paducah between Paducah Tillman and the Red Devils of Owensboro High School.
That's going on tonight, a very close game.
As Corey mentioned a few minutes ago, last we heard, that game was in the 4th quarter, tied at 21 points apiece. Interesting to see who Bowling Green's going to be playing for that regional championship, assuming this stands up. Sledge going under center with the eye behind him. There was some movement on the line. There was a flag down. In the meantime, Green got ahead to his own 46-yard line. Looked like there was illegal motion on Bowling Green, illegal procedure. That's going to push them back about 5 yards, returning to about 2nd and 10 after the penalty.
Well, penalties was the problem against Owensboro when they were here at Joe Hood Field back in September. That caused Warren Central and the Dragons to pull out a win, and that game went right down to the wire too. Went into overtime. Warren Central pulled it out, so this game not over yet.
Definitely not over yet. That Warren Central declined the penalty, so it's going to be 3rd and 5 for Bowling Green, they're calling it. And if Warren Central can stop Bowling Green here, the Purples certainly aren't out of the woods yet. Sledge going to line up under center, certainly taking his time to run off the clock. 1:05 to go. Hand off to Green. He gets ahead. He's near a first down. Interesting to see where the spot's going to be.
If they got a first down, it's the game.
If they got the first down, the game is over. And the referee, without a measurement, once again declares it a first down for Bowling Green. The chains move, and that spells the end of the game for the Warren Central Dragons.
You see Kevin Wallace and all the Bowling Green Purple coaching staff there on the line. Well, they're excited. The guy there in camouflage.
If you're Bowling Green, you know that you escaped a victory here with a tenacious team. Now you're starting halfback Aaron Johnson, Kyle Sledge, going to take a knee, and it looks like that might be it. We've got a flag on the play. Interesting to see what that's going to be. Don't often see that when a quarterback takes a knee. Preliminary call out of the huddle. We're going to see a offsides penalty against Warren Central. Penalize them 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 5 for Bowling Green.
Well, Bowling Green doesn't mind that at all, James.
They certainly don't mind that at all. That's going to put them at the Warren Central 44. The field position is a moot point right now. With 36 seconds to go, 35, 34. Kyle Sledge checking the clock. And eventually going to line up under center right there for the final play of the game. Takes a knee, hands the ball to the official, and Bowling Green is moving to the Class 3A quarterfinals by virtue of a 7-6 win here at Joe Hood Field over the Dragons of Warren Central High School.
Well, James, I told you from the offset this would be a very close game to be decided right at the very end. And do you think any of these guys are going to attend an electoral college next year that are seniors?
I'm not sure if they're going to attend an electoral college. I know we might have some legal action, some litigation, perhaps looking for a recount of the points just to verify exactly what happened, make sure there was no confusion and nobody attempted to vote for two different teams in this.
Man, just a great game on both parts.
Really was a great game on both parts, but Bowling Green comes out victorious 7-6. And we'll move on to the Region 1 championship next week. Waiting to see who they play. It'll either be Paducah Tillman or Owensboro High School for the Purples of Bowling Green. What amounts to the quarterfinals of the Class 3A playoffs. And one step closer to the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center in Louisville, December 2nd, the Class 3A state championship game. Well, Warren Central turned in an amazing season in a district with Franklin Simpson, Allen County, Scottsville, and Owensboro. They were able to win the district. They finished their season with a record of 8-4. Certainly nothing to snub anyone's nose at, especially considering 2 of those 4 losses were against a very, very good Bowling Green team, and they were able to defeat Owensboro. Lost to a very powerful Hopkinsville team as well as North Hardin, both of whom are perennial powers in Class 4A high school football.
Yeah, you win to good teams, you lose to good teams, and overall have good seasons.
Well, that does it for us here at Joe Hood Field with Warren Central High School. Bowling Green wins it 7-6 over the Dragons of Warren Central, and they advance in the Class 3A Kentucky High School football playoffs. Thank you for joining us here on Insight Communications Channel 5. Don't forget, the replay of this game is tomorrow night at 5 p.m. right back here on Channel 5 Insight Communications. For Corey Ramsey, I'm James Brandenburg, saying so long from Joe Hood Field. 7-6, the Bowling Green Purples win it.